This is the way. So everyone, hello and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to be making over 1,000 calories of French toast to see about doing the French toast eating challenge that Greg Doucette and Will Tennyson started. So we have our ingredients here. Regular white bread. We're going to use 506 grams of egg whites, 170 grams of blueberries, and of course we're going to have some chocolate chips because they are delicious. And I'm going to use a liquid sweetener so that it mixes in with the egg whites a bit better. Okay, so now we have everything all measured out. We have the 8 slices of bread we're going to use, we have our egg whites, we have our blueberries, and of course the chocolate chips. So we're going to now be ready for making the anabolic French toast, but first we need to preheat the burner. Very, very important to make sure that you have your pan ready before you do French toast. Believe it or not, it can make a huge difference, especially on those first few pieces. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get some of the bread soaking so that when the pan is hot and ready enough, we can throw it on and get cooking so we can start eating. All right, so now pan is ready. The bread is soaking for the first batch. Hit it with some non-stick. And what I'm going to do to help really make sure that the blueberries are adhering in is I'm actually going to take a chunk of blueberries and just put them in the pan. All 4 of these pieces of bread will pretty much cover the entirety of the pan, so I don't have to worry too much about the placement, just getting some blueberries down. I'll throw the chocolate chips on after. So you can see these pieces of bread pretty much falling apart. That's what we want, because they will get structural integrity as they cook. But because they're soft right now, they're able to absorb in the blueberries. Now I want you all to notice also, here I've laid out the blueberry Walden Farms. What I'm going to be doing is after I get this batch off, I'm going to be soaking the French toast with the syrup so that it actually is a little bit more soft and runny. That will help me eat it faster. All right, so now it's actually fluffed up a bit more, as you can see. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually add some of the chocolate chips in now. And the reason we're adding it now is it will help set in just a little bit. And once I flip it over, it will make them nice and melty. So adding Walden Farms blueberry to the pile, we have the first batch out. So going to go through the same process again. Start off, hit a non-stick, and lay out blueberries. So going to let this sit, exactly the same procedure as last time. Once we get a little bit closer to flipping time, we're going to add the chocolate chips, flip them, and then we'll go on to the eating. All right, so second batch is just about cooked. Now going to chocolate chip it. I think I used a little bit too many of my chocolate chips on the first bit, but I actually don't take that as a problem because those ones are actually at the bottom, which means that the yummier ones are going to be towards the bottom of the pile. Once I start feeling a little bit more flavor fatigue, I'm going to get that smack of that chocolatey goodness. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is when you're using the non-stick spray that you've been seeing us use, you want to make sure that you use it just a tiny bit. You don't even need that much, even with a cast iron. One time I remember Dr. Greg was talking about how you don't need to worry about seasoning it using butter and oil, and you were not using a cast iron like Grandma Josephine. Well, turns out even a cast iron does not require a lot of non-stick. You can just use the tiniest bit, and it does enough to prevent your food from sticking. And I'm going to have another sip of coffee. This is the way. All right, so second batch is done. You can actually turn off the stove now. Don't need to waste that extra energy. And we'll remove our French toast. All right, here we are. We have our stack. And now, let's go eat. We're about ready for that challenge. started. All right, so Dr. Greg, I guess you beat me by a second. Good work. Oh, that was actually a lot. Whew, that was really delicious, and I'll see you all in a bit after work when I go down to train. See you in the gym. Now, let's lift. All right, so here we are at the gym, listening to Coach Joey. So, getting on all of my protective equipment. Wrist straps are super important for both squatting and benching. Always make sure you're using them. It's one of those things that you don't even think about much, but if you're going to be moving some decent weight, it's always good to be able to protect your wrists. And I have this here on my elbows because I get tendonitis. So, especially because this is my first time benching since the beginning of August when school started, as I am a school teacher and I've been just really busy. So I've just been doing upstairs workouts. I've just been doing some calisthenics, just some body weight stuff and band stuff. So I haven't really been down here. We just started squatting again. So this is my first time benching in a while. So we'll see how it goes. Even though lifting is a huge part of my life and is something that I really enjoy, it's something that had to take a bit of a back burner so that I could work the best for my students. Now that I have a bit of an idea of how things are going, it's been a few months, I feel like I can spend some time down here getting to train again. So here we go, we're starting to add a little bit more on, get those warm-ups going. Always important to make sure you're warming up, and let's get into it. Now, it's important when you're coming back to lifting, as my coach here would say. What do you say, Joey? So he's saying take it slow when you're getting started. So I have the safeties up just in case. I don't want to hurt myself first day back when I'm trying to push through something. It's not worth it. Thanks, Joey. So 315 is a little bit heavy, especially when you haven't benched in a while. But all in all, I'm actually still very pleased with how that moved. So as you can see, I've lowered the weight down after I did that heavy set. Now I'm going to get in some more volume just to be able to drive some more blood into the muscles and get a bit of a pump. Just took that pre-workout. Really want to make sure I take the full advantage of it by getting in some rep work, not just going for what was in effect a max double. So gonna get this. See you after. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you go like, subscribe, ding that notification bell, and leave a comment down below. It really helps us grow this channel, especially with this being the first video. And remember, stay worthy. Hello there again. I was just putting everything together and realized I wanted to give you all a few parting words. I'm listing right now some recipes, as I do a lot of anabolic recipe making, that I think you might be interested in. So please leave a comment down below with any of the selections you're seeing scrolling across the screen. If there is anything you see you want to see a recipe for, and I will be able to add that to my queue. So thank you again. Really appreciate all of your support. Please, again, like, subscribe, comment, ding the notification bell, as Sam the Cooking Guy said, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay worthy.